Some basic rules are, I'll start at the very beginning, okay? The very beginning is 3 squared multiplied by 3 to the power of 4. That basically means 3 multiplied by 3, and then you're going to multiply it by 4 3's. And what we get here is 6 3's in total. That's why it's 3 to the power of 6. Okay? And likewise, if I say it's 3 to the power of n by 3 to the power of 4, because I don't know what an n is, I can't say for sure how many 3's I have. But what I do know is that I add the powers together. So that's why n plus 3 to the power of n by 3 to the power of 4 is 3 to the power of n plus 4. And what I'm doing in this section is I'm going in reverse. I'm going, 3 to the power of n plus 2. That must be 3 to the power of n by 3 to the power of 2. And then I look at my 3 squared and go, okay, that's 9 by 3 to the power of n. And that's all you need to know to do. Just have to go backwards. Okay? Now, there's another rule. The secondary rule, I'll put it over to the right hand side. Something that looks similar but is treated completely differently. Would be that's one rule. Okay? And the next rule is the power of a power rule. So if I had this 3 to the power squared to the power of 4. This time what it means is, it means 3 multiplied by 3 done 4 times. 3 multiplied by 3, 3 multiplied by 3, 3 multiplied by 3. How many 3's do you count up in total? 8. That is why you multiply the 2 by the 4, and the answer to this one is 3 to the power of 8. Now, you've done previously we had something that looks like this, 3 to the power of 2n. And in the last section we were told, let's say, let 3 to the n equal y. What I have to do is I have to go backwards. I know when you multiply 2 numbers together, you get 8. So what I can do is I can go backwards. What 2 numbers multiplies to give you 3 to the power of n? 2n, I mean.
3 to the power of 2, 3 to the power of n.
3 to the power of 2, 3 to the power of n. And then you go, look, your 3 squared is 9. So it's going to be 9 by 3 to the n. And in the last chapter, 3 to the n often turned out to be y. So that's where we got our 9y from. Okay? Now, 3 to the power of 2n. Oh, sorry. Sorry, guys. Completely botched that. Excuse me. Botched it completely. Sorry, guys. That's not true. It's meant to be 3 to the power of n. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. It's meant to be 3 to the power of n. Sorry, to the power of 2. And that's the common mistake everybody makes, is that they get the 2 powers confused like I just did there, okay? So it's 3 to the power of n to the power of 2, because it's a multiplication rule. What 2 figures multiply to give you 2 to the n? And that's why that will turn out to be y squared, okay? Now, if I gave you this one, 3 to the power of n plus 2, what could you do with this one? You could say it's 3 to n by 3 to 2, which is 3 to the n multiplied by 9, and that would be 9y. So that's the difference between 3 to the power of 2n and 3 to the power of n plus 2. It's very important you know the difference. Now, the next rule that you might be asked to do, but you haven't seen it recently, is the power rule. So if I gave you something like this, if I gave you, let me see, 3 to the power of 4, oh yeah, I got one, sorry. The square root of 3 to the power of 4. Now, and I asked you to express that as 3 to the power of something. How would you go about doing that? Okay, it means 3 to the power of 4 to the power of a half. That is what the square root sign means. And then we do the multiplication rule, which gets us 3 squared. Now, in a test you could also be asked something like this. You could also be asked the square root of 3 to the power of 4n. Now how would you do that? The square root of 3 to the power of 4n. That's 3 to the power of something.
3 to the power of 4n by a half.
3 to the power of 4n to the power of a half. And what happens when you get 3 to the power of 4n to the power of a half? 3 to the power of 2n. It's a fancy way of saying what is 3 to the power of 2n. And then if I wanted that in terms of y, and where y is 3 to the n, I could say it looks something like that. And then it's y squared. Any questions thus far on the first 3 rules I did? You happy enough? Yes, Robbie?
You see the top left, the two there, are they related? They're like...
These two are.
Yeah, so...
Those two are the same.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one you could be asked is the negative take it away rule. Okay. So the take it away rule would be something like this. As in, I got 3 to the power of 5 divided by 3 to the power of 2. What's the answer to this one?
3 to the power of 3.
3 to the power of 3. Basically you have 5 trees on top. And you have how many trees on the bottom? 2 trees on the bottom. And then they cancel, leaving 3 trees. That's why we take them away. 3 to the power of 3. Now, they can mix it up with letters. They could do something like this. 3 to the power of n squared minus 3 to the power of 2n. What would you say here? What could you say?
3 to the power of n squared minus 1.
3 to the power of n squared minus 2n. The same thing. Same as 5 minus 2. It's now n squared minus 2n. Now, if I said let y equal 3 to the power of n, how would we turn all of this into y's? Is it possible?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get 3 to the power of n squared on both of them. 3 to the power of n squared.
I'm going to completely confuse you, alright? There's a problem with this one, alright? The problem is 3 to the power of n squared, yeah? It's n with another small n. It's not 2n. So you cannot change it into this. You can't do that. Because it's not 3 to the power of 2n, it's 3 to the power of n squared. So you can't touch it. You actually can't touch it. You can do it to the bottom though, and you can say 3 to the power of n squared, and that would be y squared on bottom.
You can say 3 to the power of n multiplied by s.
No, it isn't that. 3 to the power of n by 3 to the power of n is 3 to the power of 2n.
3 to the power of n multiplied by n.
Yeah, but you're still stuck there. You can't get out. Because you just can't get out. You can't separate 3 to the n on its own. Okay, so lads, that's what's explaining the difference between the two of them. Now, I'll give you another one, a bit easier this time. 3 to the power of 5 divided by, let me see, 3 to the power of 3n. What's the answer to this one in terms of 3 to the power of something?
5 minus 3.
It's just going to be 5 minus 3n. Okay, guys.